but who knows how long he's been cheating for. Should he be banned longer? Yeah. Should he be financially penalised? Absolutely. Like any crime, if there's no punishment, it's going to just encourage people to commit them. So if you're a young fighter and you're thinking about doping in the sport, and you see Canelo Alvarez just get a 6-month fine with no financial penalty, I'll give it a go. I'll run the risk. It's like anything. Talk about knife crime at the moment. You know, if you're carrying, why do you think countries like Abu Dhabi and Dubai, the crime rate's so low? Because you get caught doing something, you go down, mate, for time. And like anything, you should get caught with a knife, you should just be slung in prison. There's no excuse for it. And the same in doping. You know, maybe a life ban is what's needed.
Wow, I do believe Oscar De La Hoya stirs the pot up between Canelo Alvarez. Payday, you want payday? I know that. And promoter Eddie Hearn. Oscar De La Hoya says, look at your effing promoter. The backstabbers. We're going to talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, throw a like on this video. Thumbs up. It goes a long way when you guys put a thumb up on this video to identify to others that this may be content that they are looking for in the sweet science. Listen, my name is Ego. I'm your host and one-stop shop for all your boxing needs. Let's jump into it. Now, Oscar De La Hoya exposed Eddie Hearn, and he has this tweet. He says, look at your effing promoter accusing you, and I'm always in your corner defending you. Right? And what happened is people on Twitter drudged up this interview that Eddie Hearn did when Canelo wasn't working with him, right? And you see it. It says Eddie Hearn, Canelo Alvarez will always be known as a cheater 3 years ago. So this is in regards to when Canelo Alvarez, I was born ready, when he failed a drug test ahead of the Triple G scheduled second fight. Eddie Hearn, you know, being the true Karen, decided to get on the mic, and in true Karen fashion, this is what happens. People have to comment and, you know, throat kick people when they're down and stuff like that, and always state their opinion. And he did just that. Little did he know that there would be this friction between Canelo Alvarez and Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy and DAZN to the point where they would break up. So when Canelo was not his fighter, another promoter's problem, another promoter's fighter, Eddie Hearn, you know, in true, like I said, Karen fashion, Eddie Hearn weighs in and, you know, decides to go in on him and say he's always going to be known as a cheater. You guys heard the clip at the beginning. That's a separate interview. So he's done a couple of these interviews years ago. But now look at it. Now he on Canelo dead. Look, happy birthday, Nello. Now, a couple years later, and keep in mind, Canelo claims he had tainted meat. So you could tell by Eddie Hearn's commentary that he didn't believe that, because he said Canelo will always be known as a cheater. Now, Canelo did fail a drug test with clenbuterol, but he claims he ate tainted meat in Mexico, which they have shown some case studies where in places like Asia and also in Mexico, this has been a cause. Now, I'm not saying this is how Canelo ingested it or got it in his system, but this is what Canelo claims, right? Now look at Eddie Hearn a week ago. He's talking about camp is underway for September. The question, as always, is who's next at Canelo team. Now all of a sudden, Eddie Hearn is buddy. So even though Oscar is instigating here, he does have a point. Like, see, there's a lot of emotional people, and with emotion comes, I guess, feelings. And some people be like, oh, but Oscar did drug, you know, things like that. But you got to look at a case-by-case basis. What he's saying right here, it's in fact a thing. You weren't in Canelo's corner when he wasn't your fighter. But fast forward to the future, now you love Canelo. And, you know, an ironic thing is Canelo, when he started working with Eddie Hearn, I don't know if he knew about those past interviews, but he was a free agent, still is a free agent, may face Caleb Plant, which I'll talk about more on the back half of this video. Canelo gave and sung high praises to Eddie Hearn. You know, again, I don't know if he knows about the past videos that Eddie Hearn did or if he's over it, but Canelo Alvarez says, quote, Eddie Hearn is the best promoter in the world by far. Canelo Alvarez says Eddie Hearn is the best promoter in the world, and he is savoring working with the Brit after leaving Golden Boy. So Canelo has given Eddie props, but years ago, it's just like the people who are going to host the Oscars. I remember Kevin Hart, he was going to host the Oscar Awards, Academy Awards, and then people drudged up like the LGBT or something, drudged up some jokes he made or tweets he made where he had said something insensitive to gays, and they came for him, and cancel culture canceled him. So you got to be mindful of what you say, and if you believe what you say. See, I don't ever have to worry about that, because the things I say, I've been on this platform in the digital space, meaning there's a paper trail for everything I say, right? But I equip myself how I want to equip and I know what I say because I'm there when I say it. So I don't really have this problem where people could pull up old videos where I'm saying crazy stuff or racist stuff. That's not even who I am. You know what I mean? So this is just, you know, this is just one of those instances where Eddie Hearn, now he put his foot in his mouth, because these are coming up, these videos from his past where he was condemning Canelo. They're coming out in full steam, and Eddie Hearn's still trying to work with Canelo. Canelo did basically a kind of a couple fights or a fight-by-fight deal with Eddie Hearn, and now he might fight on PBC. So hell of a time for these videos to surface and put that in the brain of Canelo and his team. Like, this is the guy you were praising and saying he's the best promoter, but then when you were at your lowest career point, because I don't know, when people think you cheated and doubt your victories, I don't know what really in Canelo's career has been a lower point than that. And this is what he was saying. And that's why Oscar probably brought it to light. Now, you could say Oscar's probably down bad, you know, things like that. He probably misses Canelo. Canelo was clearly an earner and a cash cow with him. But at the end of the day, you know, Eddie Hearn got to be held accountable. Like, basically, what has changed? If you call Canelo a cheater and like said outright, because people say I'm a Canelo hater, and I didn't even outright say that. I never had a video where I just said outright, I said he failed a drug test. That's a fact. He failed a drug test. And then I gave an objective look. I said, I don't know. Like, if you listen to my old videos, I said, I don't know what Canelo did. You know what I mean? It's plausible that it came from the meat, but it's also plausible it was something more sinister and something that he was trying to cover up. I don't know. So I never really took a hard stand on it. But guys like Eddie Hearn, Karen, Paulie Malignaggi, they took hard stances and just outright said, Canelo, you cheat, you bastard, you know, and now this has come to light. So be interesting to see what happens. According to many sources, they're saying that Canelo Alvarez for Caleb Plant, an undisputed, will happen in September. If that is the case, then that means I was wrong, because I told you I wasn't going to waste time and hold my breath about that fight. I didn't know if Canelo was going to do it or not, but props to him if he does fight Caleb Plant. It's a big fight. We just seen Jermell Charlo versus a fighter from Argentina, Brian Castaño. And Castaño and Charlo put together a great fight. That was an undisputed fight. And you see, when the best versus the best, when two guys remain with belts and championships, they tend to be good fights. Best versus the best, high level, elite level skill set, when they both have styles that rival each other. You know what I mean? This is all good. So shout out to Canelo if he does take this. I'll wait for the official announcement. And it'll be interesting to see if Eddie Hearn is a part of this deal, because from where I'm sitting, Eddie Hearn is not needed at all for PBC. Like, what is he there for? Like, Canelo would just be forfeiting money to Eddie Hearn. They have their own infrastructure. They have Brittany Goosen and Tom Brown and TGB and Leonard Ellerby, and they got an advisor, Al Heyman. They got their own commentators. What would Eddie Hearn need to be in the deal for if Canelo is now a free agent? Like, that's what's not making sense to me. The whole break from Golden Boy, I thought was so Canelo would have the freedom to move about as he chooses and work with this guy. And that's kind of what they said. They said, we want to work with everybody. You know what I mean? So here's your opportunity. They have a multi-fight deal that was offered, but I heard there was also a single fight deal just to get him on the platform, and that was offered. So we'll see. We'll see what Canelo decides. But hell of a time for these Eddie Hearn interviews to surface, and everybody's talking about it on Twitter, things like that. So ultimately, Canelo's the man to decide what's next for his career. But I think it would be smart to go with PBC, probably for a few fights, to be honest. But, you know, I can't make Canelo do what, but there's just a lot of viable, bankable, sellable options that I would pay for, you know, to see Canelo fight Jermall Charlo, see Canelo fight David Benavidez, Caleb Plant. You know, that sounds very appetizing to me. So let me know what you guys think when it comes to Eddie Hearn. Years ago, he was throwing Canelo on the bus, saying he's a junkie and a drug addict and deserves all these penalties and fines. True Karen stuff. It's true Karen stuff. Two-faced Karen behavior. Like, you threw the man on the bus and said you wanted him to get more fines and a longer suspension, but then now you're trying to work with him, and now he's the best thing since the iPod to you, since the iPhone. Man, come on. Drop your thoughts in the comment section of this snaky, two-faced behavior that we see in boxing. Use my link in the description to get TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is an awesome browser extension to help you make money on this platform and level up your content so you can make some money on this platform like me. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Use TubeBuddy. There's a lot of features. I can't go over all of them in this video, but you won't be sorry. Click that link. We'll see what Canelo decides to do. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. Yeah.